Hi, you could call me Enas. I like to make Dota 2 illustrations. Today I'm covering Tauk the Unbreakable. He is a melee, carry, durable nuker. This means that he scales all the items and deals high damage mid to late game. He can be very hard to kill, and he does high damage with his spells. His first spell, Voice of Eloquence, you activate it, and then for the next 1.5, 2, or 2.5 seconds, you and your allies within 600 units of you receive mana cost reduction of 9, 18, 27, or 36%, respective to your level. On top of that, your own spells deal pure damage, a percentage of their effect. So this means 40, 50, 60, or 70% of your damage on your other spells becomes pure. The mana cost of the spell is 100, and the cooldown is 15, 12, 9, or 6 seconds. The Augmented Scepter upgrade of this spell is that while this is active, the 2.5 seconds, your allies and yourself who are disabled can still cast your spells while disabled. This does not let you move, you simply can cast the spells that are within range. Or use the spells that are within your cast range. Your second spell is Staggering Bellow. You target a direction of a 400 unit cone, and all enemies in the area take 100, 180, 240, or 280 magic damage, and are mini-stunned for 0.1 second every 0.4 seconds for a duration of 2, 2.4, 2.8, or 3.2 seconds. Essentially, this spell does 5, 6, 7, or 8 mini-stuns on top of the burst damage. The mana cost of this spell is 130, and the cooldown of the spell is 16, 13, 10, or 7 seconds. Your third spell, Au Contraire, is kind of a staple for him. It has a passive and an active component. The passive component makes it so that every time Tauk takes a damage instance over 40, while having a Hex, Stun, Root, Banish, or Taunt, those are like the harsher disables, on him, he gains 5, 9, 12, or 14 into all stats. In other words, strength, agility, and intelligence. So he gains 5, 9, 12, or 14 into strength, agility, and intelligence every time he takes a damage instance during any of the hard disables. So you don't really want to kill him while he has the hard disables. You just want to leave it, like, you want to man fight him, essentially. You want to fight him while he's able, rather than when he's disabled. Because he just gets stronger if you fight him while he's disabled. These buffs last for 30, 45, 60, or 75 seconds. The stat bonus has a 0.4 seconds cooldown for proccing. So you can hit him maybe a 1 or 2 hits after you've broken it, after you've triggered it once, and it won't trigger, assuming you can do it within 0.4 seconds. This passive also makes it so it slows, silences, and damage over time effects require a hard dispel to purge rather than a soft dispel. This is kind of to make it so that the harder or the softer disables are more effective against him, because the hard disables are so minimally effective against him now. Actively, what this spell does is Tauk gains 30, 40, 50, or 60% status resistance for 4 seconds. He gains the stats from this spell's passive component when he takes damage instances during this active component as well. And at the end of this buff duration, you are stunned for 1 second. The mana cost of the spell is 100, 110, 120, or 130, and the cooldown is 18 seconds. The ultimate, Time Will Tell, Waves of Focus. It has a retroactive component. This means that even from the start of the game, it starts having an effect. The effect is called Clock of Doom. It makes it so that this spell will give you 1 damage point for every 20 seconds of in-game time, as well as 1 damage point for every 0.5% of all experience you receive. This means that for every 1,000 experience you get, you gain 5 damage on this spell. The active component of this spell is that you release a Wave of Focus. You project the wave in all directions outward from you. In other words, it's like Invoker's Deafening Blast when you get to level 25 Talon. What this wave does is it deals your attack damage plus all the damage points from Clock of Doom, retroactive in physical damage to all units hit by the wave. Upon collision with an enemy unit, the wave is resummoned into 2 waves with half the damage. One traveling back in the direction the original wave came from, and the other resuming the travel on the direction that the wave was, the original wave was on the other side of the unit. In other words, so you shoot the wave out from you, and then when it hits an enemy unit, it's going to shoot it. It's going to keep going. It'll flow through them, but it'll do half the effect after on the other side of an enemy, and then it's also going to hit half of it back towards you when it hits an enemy. These waves can interact with each other constructively, making them stronger if they if the waves connect with each other. And they travel a total distance of 400, 500, or 600 units. That is the only thing that scales on this spell. The distance that the wave travels. And the resummoned waves also travel this full distance. So this wave, or this effect, will keep happening so long as units are close enough to each other for the wave to hit each other. Like, for the wave to connect with units. These resummoned waves also travel the same max... Yeah, that's what I just said. Clock of Doom gives 30 damage per 10 minutes, passively. And then as far as XP goes, from the levels from... my goodness. At level 10, you are granted 28 damage from experience. At level 25, you're given 143 damage from experience alone. And at level 30, you're given 280 damage per experience alone. The mana cost of the spell is 100, and the cooldown is 4 seconds. This means you can spam this spell very often, and it does very big damage, potentially. The later in the game, the more damage it'll do. Obviously, from both experience and time affecting it. On top of your right-click damage affecting it. So essentially, Tauk is supposed to be a carry who casts spells to fight, more so than auto-attacking. The Algorithm Shard upgrade of your ult is that Waves of Focus can now affect structures, and it reduces armor of all units hit by 4. So it has armor reduction. As far as talents go, level 10 you can get a Staggering Bellow lasts for 0.8 seconds longer, making it have 2 more mini stuns. Or Voice of Eloquence lasts 1 second longer duration. Level 15 you can get Voice of Eloquence has minus 5 seconds cooldown, making it a 1 second cooldown, despite having a 100 mana cost. So it's kind of costly, but at least it gets down to a 1 second cooldown, and that's very frequent you can use it. Or you can get Au Contraire plus 1.75 seconds duration. That's the active component where you have the status resistance. So it'd be 5.75 seconds instead of 4. Level 20 you can get Au Contraire plus 6 more to all stats per trigger. So make it even harder for people to do damage while you're hard disabled. Or plus 45 damage, which is, you know, just great for any kind of carry, especially one that has AoE of auto attack damage. Level 25 you can get 500 health, or passively emit a Wave of Focus every 3 seconds for free. As far as stats, you start with 640 health, 315 mana, 51 to 61 damage, and 3 armor. As far as attributes, you start with 20 int and grow 2.1 per level. You're an agility hero who starts with 24 agility and grows 3.1 per level. And he's got 22 strength and grows 2.3 per level. He's got a slow move speed of 286. This was a bit of a nerf because he's so powerful, he has to be a little bit slow. So people can usually escape him, but, you know, he puts the pressure on pretty effectively. Because you don't want to disable him unless you just want to disable him. You mainly want to man fight him if you want to kill him. And he's got big AoE, and big damage, and he can make the damage pure, and he can mini stun you a bit, but that's his best disable. Yeah, so I see Tauk as a carry, possibly a mid, maybe an off lane. Yeah, so if you like him, I hope you, please leave comments, questions, or critique in the comments section. I will leave a link to Tauk's Joe Concept page in the doobly-doo. Thanks for watching my video. I hope you have a good day, and goodbye.